my channel for another speed build. So today I really wanted to make a 70s inspired home for my sim that I actually created yesterday in my video from yesterday, which was just a random create a sim that a wheel decided for me, and I ended up getting a really interesting character who was a vintage mom from the 70s, or just a mom from the 70s. I guess just being from the 70s makes it vintage, right? So today I wanted to make her home. So she has a son, a toddler son, but I also made it kind of, it works for like other age groups too, and like a daughter too as well. Like the room you can definitely change. I actually did upload this to the gallery if you're interested in checking it out at Lissa Artistic. I'll go ahead and put a text right up on the screen, and yeah, so you can go ahead and download this on the gallery, but beware, there is like a tad bit of CC, but not a whole lot. Like I actually did really try to refrain from using a crap ton of CC. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I use so much building CC, and the only crappy part about that is that sometimes you guys actually ask to have my builds in your game, and the sad thing is that a lot of it ends up with a lot of CC that like ends up being way too much to link. Luckily there is not a whole lot in this build, and it does not rely on CC to be a working build, so you'll see in a moment, like when the video's over, that I think the only like bits of CC that I have is the TV, because it looks like a box TV, like what they had in the actual 70s. And then there's like a couple doodads here and there, like in the garage, there's like a toddler tricycle, and like random stuff like that. But most of this stuff is actually from base game and just expansion and game packs and stuff. So hopefully you guys should be able to use it with no real problems. And yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. Oh yeah, the garage door is CC as well. I forget about that, but yeah, so the garage door is CC, but you could easily, if you have City Living, replace it with the City Living garage door that you can like paint and stuff, and it actually probably would work out a lot better than the one I put, now that I think about it, because you can actually use it as like a canvas for artists and stuff, and being the 70s, I feel like a lot of artists would have, you know, painted their garage doors, just because, I don't know, the 70s and 60s were really a moment in history about peace, love, and, you know, anti-war, and luckily it kind of carried over into newer generations, but it really started there, and people use their artwork a lot for, you know, just expressing how they feel. Okay, I don't know where I left off, because my husband actually just interrupted me while I was recording to tell me how weird that the casting for Frasier's son was on the TV show, so not sure where I left off, but but it's fine. So yeah, so there is actually also a playhouse that I added in this build as well, which would work as like a shed and stuff if you don't really want your sim to have kids, or like they're not ready for kids or whatever. It is a playroom, but you could redo it as like a shed or like a greenhouse or something like that. But I did kind of do it all up like it was like a playhouse for a kid. I like that kind of thing where it's because like my neighbor actually, when we were kids, had her own playhouse that I would go to all the time. It looked exactly like this one, except I think it was like more of a white based instead of a yellow, and it had like a whole like kitchen in there and a bed, and like, you know, like she had her own little separate house, and her dad really loved her a lot, and he built it for her by hand, and it was really cute, and we spent a lot of time in it as kids too. But yeah, so I kind of took inspiration from my friend's playhouse when we were kids. She's actually got her own kid now, and she's engaged, and it's just so weird how time flies like that. It's so weird, because like I remember seeing her when we were kids, and like we used to really not get along that well, like at all. Like we were forced to play together because you know, we were basically neighbors, so we always lived right next to each other, and we were the exact same age, so you know, our parents were just like, you know, naturally these girls would want to play with each other and be around each other, but no. We didn't really like each other that much. I mean, honestly, I didn't really like her that much. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I'm the kind of person that cannot be bossed around. Oh, that's a CC car, by the way. Which I'm probably gonna edit this, so you'll probably see it in the future, but like I was saying, yeah, so I don't really like being bossed around, man, especially by people my own age that kind of like think that they're the shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm fine with authority that's older than me and has been doing things longer than I have and things like that. But when you're like my peer, I don't appreciate when you talk down to me and be condescending when you don't even deserve your condescension. You know what I mean? Like when you haven't even earned the right to be condescending and you're just sitting there thinking that you're the shit. So we used to not get along that well because she kind of would do that when we were kids. When you are raised by a wealthy family and then you have me who was raised by like my entire family because, you know, my parents were 15 and like 17, I think, when they had me. It was either 15 and 17 or 15 and 18. My mom was 15 when she had me. When she got pregnant with me, she was 14, I believe. No, it was her birthday. Hi, Mom, by the way. She watches my videos. But, you know, like growing up with a teenage mom, because my dad kind of wasn't really in the picture after a while, we didn't have a lot. So, you know, and she was busy with school and work and trying to keep our family afloat. And while she was doing those things, I was with my grandparents. And then, you know, my grandparents live in this really nice neighborhood. And, you know, this girl was my neighbor. And, you know, she had a really nice background, a really nice family, came from money, came from like, you know, a family that really could take care of kids because they were, you know, full grown adults and, you know, had their own place and careers and stuff established, you know, so it was different. She came from a different place than I did. And I felt almost like she kind of looked down on me sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm going on this weird tangent. I usually feel like it's really hard to do voiceovers. I can't talk. To do voiceovers for videos because I like can't think of like all these things to talk about while there's like a 14 to 16. I think this is gonna be about a 16-minute video. It's like a really long video and all you can do is just kind of ramble on about other things that are just on your mind. And you know, sometimes I talk all over myself, and you may have noticed I edit my videos a lot when it comes to my speech and stuff, because sometimes I'll like trip over my words, or you know, I'll take like a really long breath, or you know, I don't know, like I just over edit my videos because I get a little self-conscious when it comes to like dead space and you know, just not being always funny all the time. Like I feel like you have to be really funny sometimes to be really entertaining, and sometimes it just takes me out of my own zone. And so I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm getting a lot closer to you guys in this one video than I have in like all of my other videos in the past, like how long have I been on YouTube? Like a year now? A little over a year? And I feel like I've just now kind of scratched the surface with you guys kind of getting to know me and me getting to know you guys a little. It really makes me happy when I see the same people kind of commenting and being around on my videos like all the time. With most of my videos, like 99% of my videos, the same people would be there. Like it's really nice. It's just such a great feeling to see the appreciation that people have for videos that I've really taken my time with creating, with storylines that I have really dedicated a lot of my time on, and to see people actually enjoying that is really awesome. So I really appreciate you guys a lot, like you don't even understand. I'm in a place in my life where we're not exactly where we want to be in our lives because, you know, we're still young, you know, we're still trying to make it in the world. We're still trying to do our own things and figure out our own career paths and all of that stuff. And let me tell you guys, I'm 25 and I have no clue what I'm doing with the rest of my life. I really don't. So like for society to kind of, you know, treat you like you need to know what you're gonna do for the rest of your life when you're 18 and just graduating high school and stuff, that can be really hard on people, especially when they have no direction whatsoever because, you know, where they came from, or, you know, they just didn't have that idea with them for their, you know, while they grew up. Like, I want to be this or I want to be that. Like, they didn't know. They had no clue. So I've always kind of had, the weird thing though, is like, I've always kind of had a thing about creating videos. Like, even before I knew I really wanted to be like a YouTuber, like I would create videos on my grandpa's old Windows like 5 computer on like Movie Maker and stuff. And I started out doing slideshows of just pictures of my family and stuff, and that was really nice because I could put little songs over it and, you know, create videos for my family as like gifts and stuff. So I did that for a long time until I turned into a teenager. When I was about like 17, I started making videos of me doing covers, which, oh my god, like they're so cringy. And then I feel like in a few years, I'm gonna look back on these videos and cringe a little bit because I'll be further along in my YouTube career. I'll probably be way more improved than I am now, because I know for sure I'm more improved now than I was when I first started. When I first started, I knew my very first videos were gonna be crap. And they absolutely are. Like, they're just absolute crap. And my very first videos on this channel are DIY videos. So they're just, you know, oh god. I've experimented a lot with YouTube videos, but I've found that the thing that makes me the most happy is sharing my gameplay with The Sims. You know, like, I've always played The Sims. When it first came out, I was in like first grade in like 2001, and my neighbor got The Sims 1, Sims Hot Date, and I would go over there all the time. And this was my real neighbor, like the neighbor I lived with when I was actually with my grandpa. Like, okay, so I went to my neighbor's that was really rich when I was at my grandma's house. My grandma lived in a really nice neighborhood, still does. She lives in the same house. But my grandpa, who recently passed away in 2015, I guess it's not that recent anymore. Wow, it's been a while, but it still feels like it was last year, you know? He was like my real dad. He raised me, and I lived at his house for most of my life in St. Paul, and my neighbor there was the first one to get the Sims Hot Date, and she was 2 years older than me. She was my best friend growing up, and you know, she got mad at me because every time I would go over there, I'd ask to play The Sims, and so she was kind of getting mad, and I didn't even know she was mad. I had no idea until I like read this crumpled up note that was near a trash can at my house. And it was in her handwriting, and she was talking about how I just feel like Alyssa doesn't even like me anymore. Like, all she wants to do is play The Sims Hot Date when she comes over, and like, you know, like I just expected more out of a friendship, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh no, this is what addiction does, you guys. Like, addiction doesn't have to be drugs, okay? It can be a video game, because like I felt so bad. I had no idea that I was making her feel this way just because I wanted to play The Sims all the time when we would, you know, hang out together. So, I don't know. I've always loved The Sims. I don't know where I was even going with this. I'm just kind of sharing my whole life story with you guys. Like, I hope you're okay with that, to be honest. I have not talked this much during a speed build, but yeah, so it's kind of wrapping up a little bit, so I suppose I'll just kind of wrap up as well. My husband is giggling in the background because he's watching Frasier with his headphones on, so he doesn't make noise. But anyways, you guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. I really hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching. And hey, if you're not one of my subscribers yet and you'd like to become one of my boos, please don't hesitate to smash that subscribe button. It's that beautiful little red button down below. And I will see you all in my very next video. Bye, loves. Mwah.